there and welcome back to Plow and Pantry. Today I am bringing you another September recipe. If you are not familiar with September, it's an event on YouTube in September where different people bring you soups, stews, and chilies. I will link my September playlist at the end of this video, and you can also search the hashtag September to find lots of soup recipes on YouTube, not just from me, but from many creators. And just a heads up, I will also be doing Crocktober next month, which is crock pot recipes, as well as my annual October freezer cleanout challenge. I hope you join me for those. Today's recipe is a little bit of a lesson in using what you have on hand and adapting recipes for that. This is ham and white bean soup, which I always make with leftover ham. So we had ham earlier in the week, but I had bought this quarter sliced, ready to just heat through thing I found on sale. You know what I'm talking about? I'll try to find a picture so you can see. I'm not great at describing many cuts in the pork family because we just don't eat that much of it. We do eat it, especially in bacon form, but we're just mostly a chicken and beef family with some small amounts of pork and seafood here and there. So normally I have a large ham with a bone, and I brown the bone and I use the leftover meat and make a crock pot soup. I think I have a printable recipe on my blog that I can link to in the description box for you below with how I normally do it with the crock pot and the ham bone and all that. The crock-pot version is also in my cookbook, which is always linked below. But today I'm using leftover slices and not a bone-in ham. I'm also not using my crock-pot today. I'm making a 30-minute soup on the stovetop. It's actually less than 30 minutes, but on the stovetop. I'm still starting it pretty much the same way though. I got some butter going in my pot and I was chopping the ham and sauteing it in the butter, and I'm just getting a little bit brown. It's already cooked. It doesn't need to be cooked, it just needs to be heated through, but I like to get a little bit of brown on it. And then while the ham is going, I'm just starting on other vegetables, getting a chop and drop scenario going. I started with carrots because those take the longest to cook, and I added onions and garlic. I used my convenience jar garlic this time, and celery also goes in this. And I mix those in, and I just let it keep getting brown and get it to the point where my carrots are just barely beginning to soften. Again, as always with home cooking, I've said this before in previous videos, make things the way you like. I like my carrots to not be mushy, so I don't cook them all the way through at this point because I know they'll cook a little bit further when I add the broth and let the soup simmer a bit. But if you like mushy vegetables in your soup, and that's completely legitimate preference, if that's how you like it, then cook yours longer so you can get it just the way you like it. Once my veggies are at the right stage for me, I add a little bit of vegetable stock. You can use ham stock, you could use beef stock, you could use chicken broth, whatever you have on hand. I like to start with a little bit of it and kind of deglaze the pan with a whiskey thing, and then I add the rest to it. I'll also add my white beans in along with some other seasonings. Again, with the substitution with the beans, I normally use 3 cans of white beans that I rinse and drain. I happen to be cooking dry beans in the Instant Pot for another thing, and so I added extra so I could use them in this instead and didn't use canned beans today. And that was not to save up my canned beans or anything, it was just more to kill 2 birds with one stone, that type of thing. I also add dry herbs to this, which is great for winter because that's what's on hand in winter. I added thyme, oregano, rosemary, and bay leaves, which you take out at the end, if I forget to say that, as well as good old S&P. That's salt and pepper, not like S&P 500. I did also go out into the windy fall weather at some point to snip some fresh parsley for garnish on top. I don't know what it is about parsley on soups for me, but it's almost always a must-have. I don't know if that's the real freshness and the bright green color in a season where that's disappearing or it's gone, or if it's actually that the flavor goes well with so many things. But I chopped some up and sprinkled it on top. Totally optional, but recommended if you like it, because again, home cooking is supposed to be just the way you like it. Then this just gets heated through and simmers on low until you're ready to eat it. It's really less than 30 minutes to this dinner. I even had time to get some garlic bread in the oven while this was going, and it's one of our family's favorite soups. In fact, I think it might be my son's absolute favorite soup. He's going to college in Colorado now. And the night that we had this, he actually sent us a picture showing him eating something we like but don't have here. I don't remember what it was. It could have been In-N-Out, something like that. And my husband sent him back a picture of our soup, and my son was like, that's just mean. So he really likes this soup, but we all enjoy it. So there you have an easy, hearty soup. Around here, it has to be hearty. My husband does not approve of soup for dinner unless it's really stick to your ribs. He's not a thin broth or vegetable soup lover. It has to be thicker, and by that I mean it has to have like meat and be packed full of the solid ingredients, not just broth with bits of solids in it. It has to have a lot of solids. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe so you get all of my Souptember videos as they come out. I semi-homestead here in East Tennessee, so if you like videos about gardening, food preservation, stocking the pantry, cooking from the pantry, you might want to hit that notification bell. Thank you for joining me here today and spending your precious time with me. I hope that the rest of your day is stuffed full of goodness.